in a couple of days, I think it's Wednesday, there is a yearly festival that is celebrated all over the ISKCON world, which originated in the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's called Panihati, and there is a whole chapter in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Anjalila chapter 6, describing in detail the activities of this particular pastime. So I'll try, with whatever limited time we have, to somehow give some of the essential points of this particular pastime. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. So we'll read a little bit about this pastime. It centers around Raghunath Das Goswami. And those of you who have some background know that Raghunath Das Goswami was one of the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. He was one of the most renounced of all of the Goswamis. Renunciation is an interesting topic, and I heard Prabhupada was speaking about it just the other day. That renunciation, before we start, Om Gyan Timirandasya Gyanajana Salakaya Chaksu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Vadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Astyatya De Satarine Panchakalpa Tarubhischa Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Vidhitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Raghunath Das Goswami had all the opulences that one could ever imagine. He was the only son, of a wealthy landowner, zamindar, who was employed by the government to collect taxes and would keep a percentage of those taxes for his own income. Raghunath Das Goswami's father and his uncle were compared to nowadays people who are billionaires. That's how much wealth they had. And Raghunath was the only son. So he was heir to all of that fortune. But he wasn't interested. He heard about, then saw, but didn't associate with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but became very much inspired by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he made it his determined effort to join Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's entourage and become one of his servants. But his parents, obviously quite wealthy, they're the only son, were not in favor of that. It's going on today too. Parents sometimes, many times, try to restrict their children from going to Krishna consciousness. I was just talking to someone yesterday. I won't mention her name, but she said, my father is Kamsa Das. She called him Kamsa Das. I was thinking, interesting. Nice way to refer to your father. But she repeated it many times, so obviously she was fixed on that one. And so even today we see how parents are somewhat restrictive or even against their children becoming Hare Krishnas. But here we see the situation was Raghunath Das Goswami had all the opulence that could possible. And he had a wife that is mentioned that she was like an angel. She had all good qualities, bodily beauty, chastity, dedication to serving her husband. Everything that a man could want in a wife was there and more. He wasn't interested. Wealth, family, heritage, culture, beautiful wife, everything needed. Many personal servants that were ready to serve him anytime he needed it. Not interested. That's renunciation. Prabhupada said, if you don't have anything and you think you're renounced, it's not renunciation. When you actually have something and then you give it up, that's renunciation. And so Raghunath Das Goswami was always trying, at the chagrin of his parents, to go to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he could never escape. Finally, he found one opportunity, and he tricked his guards, because they used to keep 11 guards around him all the time, so to make sure, because he used to run away, they would bring him back. So they would always increase the guards every time he ran away. So, on the plea of wanting to talk to the head pujari, Balaram, and there was some discrepancy in the worship in the deity family deity, he somehow or other tricked the guards and he got away. Now he was determined to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and join Mahaprabhu, because Mahaprabhu knew about him, but Mahaprabhu sent the word that he should stay there. When the time was ready, Krishna would cut him loose from his attachments. So it seemed like the time had come. And now he was on his way. But when he was on his way, he happened to come across a small gathering of Lord Nityananda and some of his disciples. Realizing this was Sri Nityananda, the very intimate associate, and of course, what you might say, Lord Balaram himself, he saw Lord Nityananda from a distance. And I'll see if I can find that place. And he said, sitting on the rock under the tree on the bank of the Ganges, Lord Nityananda seemed as effulgent as hundreds and thousands of rising suns. Many devotees sat on the ground surrounding him. Seeing the influence of Nityananda, Raghunath Das became astonished. Jai Sisi Gaur Nitai Ki Jai. Raghunath Das offered his obeisances by falling prostrate at a distant place. And the servant of Nityananda Prabhu pointed out, there is Raghunath offering obeisances from a distance. Hearing this, Lord Nityananda said, you are a thief. Nice way to get greeted after you pay obeisances. You are a thief. Now you have to come and see me. Come here, come here. Today I shall punish you. Whoa. Coming from Lord Nityananda. The Lord called out, but Raghunath Das did not go near the Lord. Then the Lord came and forcibly caught him and placed his lotus feet on Raghunath Das's head. Wow, that's pretty good, huh? That's called mercy personified. Lord Nityananda by nature is very merciful and very funny. Being merciful, he spoke to Raghunath Das, you are just like a thief. For instead of coming near, you stay at a distant place. Now I have captured you. I shall punish you. Make a festival and feed all my associates yogurt and chip rice. Hearing this, Raghunath Das was greatly pleased. Raghunath immediately sent his own men to the village to purchase all kinds of edibles and bring them back. Raghunath Das bought chip rice, yogurt, sweetmeat, sugar, bananas, and other edibles and placed them all around. As soon as the word got out, a festival was being held. All kinds of brahmanas and gentlemen arrived from everywhere. Thus there were innumerable people. Seeing the crowd, Raghunath Das arranged to get more edibles from the village. He brought 2 or 4 large, round earthen pots, obtained 5 or 7 especially large earthen pots, and in these pots a Brahmin began soaking chip rice for the satisfaction of Lord Nityananda. In one place, chip rice was soaked in hot milk in each of large pots. Then half the rice was mixed with yogurt, sugar, and bananas. The other half was mixed with condensed milk and a special type of banana known as chanpa kala. Then sugar and ghee and camphor were added. After Nityananda had changed his cloth for a new one and sat on the platform, the Brahmins brought him 7 huge pots. On that platform, almost all the associates of Lord Nityananda, as well as all the important men, sat around in a circle. Ramdas, Sunandana, Sudarnanda, Gadadhar, Murari, Kamalakara, Sadasivan, Purandaram, Dhananjaya, Jagadish, Parameswar, Mahesh Gauridas, Hoda Krishna. All of them were all there. And there were all many other personalities of Lord Nityananda there. Many scarlet Brahmins, priests came, and Lord Nityananda honored them and made them sit down. Everyone was offered 2 earthen pots, and one was put chip rice with condensed milk, and the other chip rice with yogurt. No one could count the amount of people that were there. In fact, they were on the banks of the Ganges, and there were so many people that there was no room. You might see there was a painting that was done for this particular part of and you'll see that people were standing in the Ganga up to their waist, holding 2 pots, one with chip rice, yogurt and bananas, the other with chip rice, ghee, and sugar, camphor, like that. So a big festival was there. And then everyone started to, on the cue of Lord Nityananda, take prasadam. And Lord Nityananda became so animated, he became so happy, he was eating chip rice, everybody was enjoying like crazy. Then, guess what happened? Guess who came? You didn't see him, but he was there. Lord Chaitanya. He appeared, and he thought, oh, my devotees are having a nice festival, I'm glad I came. And then Lord Nityananda and only a few of the most confidential associates could actually see Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Nityananda was going around to everybody's pot and taking a little bit of the chip rice, and he was placing it like this, and everybody's saying, what is he doing? But what he was doing, he was feeding Lord Chaitanya. And no one could see. Maybe 1 or 2 could see. Only those who were very elevated could see. And he was feeding. Lord Chaitanya was eating a little bit of chip rice from all the different pots. And goes on. And Lord Nityananda said, and then of course Raghava Pandit came. Raghava Pandit is another personality. He's famous for his cooking. There's a whole section called Raghava Jalis. Jalis means bags. He used to make wonderful, wonderful preparations for Lord Nityananda and put it in these bags, and then him and his sister Damayanti, they would distribute it to Lord Chaitanya. One time Lord Chaitanya was sitting in his room in the Gambhira. This was toward the end of his Leela, and Govinda, his servant, was there. And Govinda said, my Lord, you know, all the devotees, including Raghava Pandit and Damayanti, they've been cooking for you for the last month. And they've been giving me all of these preparations for you. But every time I give it to you, you say, put it away. Now the whole room is full. And the devotees are asking me, how did the Lord like my preparation? And I don't know what to tell them. Lord Chaitanya said, why don't let your mind bother you. Just bring it, bring it, bring it. So he brought it, he ate everything in the whole room in one place. Because he's called Vishwambar. Vishwambar means one who can eat everything in the universe. Vishwambar means one who nourishes the universe, but he can also become the Supreme Personality of Godhead in all his opulence. And to him, to eat a full room full of prasadam is like, it's just like taking a snack. It was nothing. So he came and he said, my dear Lord Nityananda, I have offered some food to my deity. Please come. And I want you to take this prasadam. Lord Nityananda replied, let me eat all of this food here during the day, and at night I shall come to your place. Mm-hmm. I belong to a cowherd community of boys. I belong to a community of cowherd boys. And therefore I generally have many cowherd associates with me. I'm happy, and we eat together and picnic like this on the sandy beach of the river. And Lord Nityananda made Raghava Pandit sit down and gave him 2 pots also of chipped rice. When the chipped rice was served to everyone, Lord Nityananda brought Lord Chaitanya and started distributing their rice like that. Then, after some time, Lord Chaitanya actually appeared in person. Everyone can see him. And then Lord Nityananda offered Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a place to sit, and then the 2 brothers began eating chipped rice together. Seeing Lord Chaitanya eating with him, Lord Nityananda Prabhu became very happy and exhibited many symptoms of ecstatic love. Lord Nityananda ordered, all of you eat! Chant the holy name Hari! Immediately the holy names Hari! Hari! resounded, filling the entire universe. When all the Vaishnavas were chanting the holy name, Hari! 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 And eating, they remembered how Krishna and Balaram ate with their companions, the cowherd boys, on the banks of the Jamuna River. And so this festival went on, and all the devotees had a wonderful. Then the shopkeepers from many villages heard about the festival, and they came arriving and wanted to sell chipped rice, yogurt, and sweetmeats and bananas. They came to make money. All of them came bringing all kinds of food. Raghunath Das purchased everything. Then he gave them price for the goods, and after he gave them their price for the goods, he sat all the shopkeepers down and fed them chipped rice and bananas and many other nice things. Anyone who came to see these funny things were going on, it's kind of humorous when you actually see it. They were also fed chipped rice, bananas, and yogurt. And Lord Nityananda finished eating, he washed his hands, and he gave Raghunath Das the food remaining in his 4 pots. And then there was so much food remaining. Then a Brahmana brought a flower garland, placed it around the neck of Lord Nityananda, and smeared sandalwood pulp all over his body. Then they brought betel nut. The Lord smiled and chewed his betel nut. You ever see a betel nut smile? Those of you who have been to India, yes? No? A betel nut smile? Yeah, it's very interesting. I don't know how to describe it. It looks like something you've never seen before. It's kind of like, it's either red, dark red, or something else. So they brought betel nut, and then they distributed to all the devotees, and then all of that was distributed as prasadam. And Lord Nityananda and Raghunath Das became very happy, and then he distributed everything to all the devotees there. This is a wonderful festival. Nityananda rested for the rest of the day and then went to the temple of Raghava Pandit, and of course he later on ordered that. And of course after that, Raghunath Das, so he brought gold coins with him that he had with him, and he gave every devotee who came a donation of gold coins. So not only did he feed everyone, paid for everything, organized the festival, and he remunerated all the devotees with wealth. This is a beautiful festival. We've performed this festival here, yes, many years ago. I think with Jayapataka Maharaj. Yeah, he did it here. I was here, I think. Do you remember Seva Kunj? Jayapataka Maharaj didn't come here and do this festival? Okay, I know he did it in Italy, in Villa Vrindavan. And no, it was in Prabhupada Desh. And of course, in Atlanta, Georgia, there's a temple called Nupanihati. So Jayapataka Maharaj would go every year, mostly every year, to that place, and he would perform the whole thing. He would go in the kitchen about, right after Mangalarti, and he would cook. And then we'd make all these different pots of chip rice, and then there would be 6 preparations, one sweet, one sour, one salty, one pungent, one bitter, and one, what did I leave out? One more. Sweet, sour, pungent, bitter, and...
Chili.
Chili, spicy, okay. And then we would put it all on the altar in front of the deities, and we'd offer it, and then we'd take it off, and Jayapataka Maharaj would do an auction. And we would auction off the pots. And so can you give 100 euros? $100? Yes, 200? Yeah. Okay. How about this pot? This is a special one. And Maharaj would be conducting the whole auction. 200? Come on, you can do better than that. And sometimes it'd go up to... when I was in Italy, somebody bid 600 euros for one pot. I was there thinking, well, I got some Lakshmi, but that's a little bit out of my range. And then we would distribute it, and then our devotees would have their pots, and that way they'd give a large donation to the temple, and the temple would make some good money. And then that way it would help the temple funds a lot. And then we'd have a huge feast afterwards. Huge, I mean it was just like huge. Mostly Jayapataka Maharaj cooked most of it, and when he would organize the rest of the devotees. So this is a very, very wonderful festival the devotees do every year. And I actually did it in India one year, in the spot of where Panihati actually took place. We also did it there with many of the devotees. We had about 200 or 300 devotees, and we performed this festival right near the house of Raghava Pandit. So it's a beautiful, beautiful festival. There's a very interesting point made in this festival that we should all understand very clearly. Raghunath Das Goswami was on his way to join Lord Chaitanya. But he didn't make it. He made it to Lord Nityananda. And then Lord Nityananda engaged him in service. This is interesting because it's a very foundational principle of Krishna consciousness. He wanted to go to the Lord, but who is Lord Nityananda? He is the original supreme spiritual master. He is Guru Tattva. Before you can approach the Lord, you have to approach the Lord in his representative, the spiritual master. And then, because that's why Lord Nityananda said, you're a thief. You're trying to go to God without going through Guru. You have to go to Guru, and then you can go to God. And then what does Guru do? He engages you in seva. And when seva becomes pleasing, Raghunath Das Goswami pleased Lord Nityananda, the original spiritual master, and all of the devotees. When that happened, then he got the full blessings of Lord Nityananda, and he was able, right after that, to join the entourage of Lord Chaitanya. So we see this is how this applies to us in our Krishna consciousness. Don't try to approach the Lord directly. Sometimes we think, well, of course we have a direct relationship with the Lord, But that relationship has been covered by the material energy. And being encased in the material energy, we have to break through that casing through the principle of mercy. And there's where the Guru comes in. He gives that mercy in the form of engagement in devotional service. So without that devotional service, or without that attitude to serve the spiritual master, who's the representative of the Lord, and the Vaishnavas, because that's also important there. One who thinks, well, I can just serve the Guru and that's enough. No. You'll never get the blessings of the Lord if you simply serve Guru. You have to serve the Vaishnavas too. Serving the Vaishnavas means serving the Lord in a way that is very pleasing to the Lord, because the Vaishnavas are very dear to the Lord. So those who really want to understand the deep principles of devotional service must make it a conscious effort to serve their spiritual master by serving the devotees. How to serve the devotees means you have to think of ways on how to serve the devotees. If we think, well, if I get the opportunity, that's nice. If I don't, then it's also no. And that's not going to work. Doesn't work. You've got to be proactive. You have to think, let me think of ways to serve the devotees. And as Prabhupada used to teach us, the more you serve the devotee of the devotee of the devotee of the devotee of the devotee, and he said 100 times down the line, the farther down the line you are, the more you are dear to the Lord. There's those who want to go directly to the Lord. The Lord's not interested in that, unless they have already gone through that mood of Vaishnav Seva. When Lord Chaitanya was performing his Mahaprakash Leela, 21 hours giving benedictions to the devotees, after the devotees had given him a beautiful bath of various kinds of substances right in the home of Srivas Thakur, the Lord noticed one elderly lady. She was standing in the Ganges, and she was filling the pots that were given to the devotees. Like they made a line from the Ganges all the way to Lord Chaitanya, and they were passing the pots. And then when and it was Advaita and Nityananda who were bathing Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya saw that lady in the Ganga, and he turned to Srivas. He said, "Who is that?" Srivas said, "Well, that's my servant. Her name is Duki." "Oh, Duki. We should now give her the name Sukhi." Sukhi means happy. Duki means miserable. So now she became blessed. Whether she liked it or not, she became happy. She liked it, obviously. So that was the Lord. He could do that. He could just simply look at you and give you love of God, and all of a sudden you're in ecstasy, you're rolling on the ground, you don't know what happened. That was Lord Chaitanya. He was so merciful. But when he saw someone serving the devotees in a nice way, the Lord was especially merciful like that. And that's how he trained his devotees. Every devotee that followed Lord Chaitanya were always serving the other devotees. Of course, they were always interested in being with Lord Chaitanya, but they were always actively serving each other. Now this is Krishna consciousness. And that's how things expand. Sometimes we think, how do we expand this movement? That's the secret. The more we serve the devotees, of course, we have to serve in a way that is done, that the devotees become pleased and Krishna consciousness pushes on. It's not that we can just, giving prasadam to the devotees is one of the ways to serve the devotees. Giving gifts to the devotees is one of the ways to serve the devotees. Speaking confidential subject matters to the devotees, or just developing friendship with the devotee is a way to serve the devotees. And that devotee seva is really the highest form of bhakti. Lord Chaitanya taught that and exhibited it himself. He came. Lord Nityananda, he was serving all the devotees by engaging Raghunath Das Goswami in service of the devotees. Even Nityananda was serving everyone. The Lord likes to serve his devotees more than the devotees like to serve the Lord. That's the nature of the Lord. He is in that mood of service, and his devotees are very dear to him. And that means every devotee is dear to the Lord. Why? Because they're a devotee. That is the mood. And so Lord Chaitanya taught that. There's one particular story. It's in the Christian tradition, but it's called a archetype. You know what the word archetype means? It's a typical type of principle that is being taught through this particular activity. So I'll tell it. It happened in Europe, at least the story is given in that way, where there were a very flourishing Christian monastery. I mean, it was one of the best monasteries in all of Europe. And people were coming. And they had so much to offer to people, and the monastery was growing nicely. But somehow, doesn't say how, somehow things changed. And then people stopped coming, and many of the brothers in the monastery started to leave. And after a few years, there was only 6 brothers left in the monastery, and the monastery was hardly being visited by anyone. Everything went down. So some of the brothers who were there were wondering, what can we do to, again, bring that mood of devotion back? So they went to the abbot, the head of the monastery, and they explained their situation. The abbot said, I can't give you an answer, but I heard there is one of the most principal and revered rabbis in Jewish tradition. He is traveling through this area. I will meet him and I will ask him. I'm sure he can give us some help. So he made that arrangement. He met the rabbi. So they were speaking, and he explained the whole situation. The rabbi thought about it for a minute, and he said, I don't know what to tell you, but I can tell you one thing for sure. He was certain. One of your 6 brothers in that monastery is the chosen one by the Lord. He is the Messiah. He is a person that is chosen by the Lord. So the abbot said, well, which one? He said, I don't know, but I know one of them is there. Okay? So they exchanged very friendly greetings. The abbot went back, and now the brothers were eager to hear what the rabbi said. So they sat around, and then he explained, he said, well, he didn't give any real solution, but he did say one thing. He said, one of you 6 is the Messiah. In other words, one of you 6 are the chosen one by God. Which one? Didn't say. So they start looking at each other, not knowing which one was which. And then the whole mood changed. And they were starting to see, well, Brother John, he gets angry, but he's always right. And, Brother Luke, well, he sleeps a lot, but he works hard. So they start seeing all the good qualities in each of the devotees. And then gradually, starting to appreciating and not knowing which one was, they start serving each other really nicely, not knowing which one was which. And then gradually the things changed, and then people started to come again, and the monastery started to develop, more brothers started to join, and again the monastery started to flourish. So the point is, and this is a very important point to understand, it's foundational, that Vaishnava Seva, and this is Lord Chaitanya had taught this as one of the main principles, serving the Vaishnavas. Serving Vaishnavas chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and serving those who we want to become Vaishnavas, Jivadoya. In other words, preaching Krishna consciousness. Lord Chaitanya made these three principles his main focus. Chant Hare Krishna and develop a taste for chanting. Serve the Vaishnavas and preach Krishna consciousness. These are the three principles Lord Chaitanya focused on in expanding his movement all over the world, which are the principles that we adhere to today. So you can see from this festival, this Panihati festival, the cover of this particular volume of Chaitanya Charitamrita has a beautiful picture of all the devotees sitting around Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. And they're all there, and half of them are in the water, and half of them are on the land, all enjoying this wonderful festival of Panihati. And this beautiful festival. I remember I used to be a cook. Used to be. And I was a cook, and we had a brahmachari ashram in New Vrindavan. It was just brahmacharis. And I was there. We were in the mountains all by ourselves. We had 3 farms. We had a Grihastha farm. We had a farm with mixed devotees, and we had one brahmachari ashram. So I was there for many years, and I was the cook, and Panihati came up, and they said, let's do the festival. So I had to make the whole Panihati festival. We got the chip rice. I don't know how we got it, but we got it. And then we made I boiled 2 pots of big milk, soaked some chip rice with bananas and sugar in one, and the other one, ghee, camphor, and chip rice in the other one. And we had that was my first experience with this wonderful festival. And since then I've seen Jayapataka Maharaj do it at least 3 times, twice in Panihati in Atlanta, once in Italy. I thought he did it here, maybe I was mistaken. Maybe I just wish he would have did it here. But it's a beautiful festival. We have a lot to learn from this festival. And then Raghunath Das Goswami, whose strong desire was to be an associate of Lord Chaitanya, he got that simply by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. Guru's mercy is Krishna's mercy. Guru's mercy is Krishna's mercy. If you want Krishna's mercy, you have to get Guru's mercy. If you get Guru's mercy, you get Krishna's mercy. The combined mercy is the complete mercy. And then the path of devotional service is wide open. But Vaishnav Seva and chanting the holy names of the Lord, and whenever we get a chance, preach Krishna consciousness. And that should be our focus, and then this movement will have no problems. If these 3 things are our focus, maintaining temples are not so hard, because Krishna is the one who maintains the temple, not us. We were just his custodians. The temple belongs to everybody. It's not our temple. We manage it, we keep it going, but it's Krishna who keeps it going. And when Krishna sees the devotees are developing this mood of service to the Vaishnavas and to the people in general, and spreading the holy name, you won't be able to fit anybody in this anymore. You'll have no room for people anymore. It'll be too crowded. People will be coming, because Krishna sends them. He'll send more and more devotees. I think sometimes we're afraid of that. Oh no, what are we going to do? There goes my comfort zone. We get a little afraid of success. That could be like that, right? But that's not Vaishnava. Vaishnava likes to see, and then have more and more temples all over the country. Prabhupada said every village, every town, every city should have a temple, at least one temple, where devotees can come and worship and practice Krishna consciousness like that. So these are some of the wonderful pastimes. If you get a chance, the actual anniversary for the pastime is Wednesday, and it's chapter 6 of Anchalila. You can read the whole pastime. I just read most of it, but not all of it. Okay, so we're coming up to the end of time here. We have about 10 minutes before the arti. Any questions or comments? Yes, Matala? Matko. Matko, okay.
This might seem like a banal question, but it occurred to me today.
Okay.
Chipped rice.
Mm-hmm. You never seen chipped rice?
I've never seen chipped rice.
Okay, it's another name for it is called flat rice. Yeah, I think some devotees who've been to India, they know what chipped rice is, right? Flat rice, right? Chira, right? Right? Chira dahi, chira. And dahi means yogurt. Chira dahi. It's flat rice, chipped rice. And it's very nice. But if you eat it the way it is, it's not so nice. You have to soak it in some kind of yogurt or milk or something like that. Condensed milk also. Okay. Anything else? Any other comments, questions? Yes, we got two hands up. Okay, we got Matsya and we got Mataji. Yeah, Matsya. Okay, we'll go to, yeah.
Yesterday I met my old friend in Veka, in Ratayatra, and we talk about many things, but we say the most important, we have, because we are old, my friend is also old, we have many problems like pain in leg and so many problems, and the conclusion, my conclusion was, the most important thing is that we are happy, sukhi. We are sukhi.
Yeah, sukhi. Happy means chant Hare Krishna. Happy means taking Krishna prasadam. Happy means dancing. Happy means serving the devotees. When you serve the devotees become happy by your service. You become happy automatically when you make the devotees happy. That's the way to become happy, is make other people happy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, this is perfect. Make other people happy.
Yeah, try to figure out how to make people happy. I know how to make, what's his name? Well, I'm really good with names tonight. What's his name? He's here. He's in the kitchen. Gaur Mitra. All I do is tell jokes, and he's so happy. I just think when I see Gaur Mitra, I have to come up with more jokes, And he just laughs like, like Madhu Mangal, So, we have to figure out how to make the devotees happy. Sometimes that looks a little mundane, but Lord Chaitanya used to tell jokes all the time. So. Okay, yes, Matsya. Prabhu.
I find it interesting that devotees were chanting Hari.
Hari, Hari.
I'm not trying to raise any controversy. I know there used to be. Personally, I don't see any. But it's just interesting that devotees were chanting Hari, Hari. Well, today, any festival will chant Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hari, Hari. Hari, Hari. Hari, Hari. Hari, Hari. Hari, Hari.
It's not that melodious.
That's nice. When you say Hare Krishna, that's nice. When you say Hari, Hari. It's got some juice to it. And Hari, what it means also means one who takes away everything. That's another name for Hari. That means if you're saying Hari, Hari, keep saying it, you're not going to have anything left. But anyway, that was my trick. Now nobody will chant it. So Hari Hari means thief. Krishna is known as the thief. He's called Hari. Takes away everything that you don't need and gives you everything you need. Okay, but yeah, that's what they were doing. Hari Hari, Hari Hari, Hari Hari, Hari Hari. Yeah, see, it's nice. Go home and there's nothing. Everything in your house is gone. The house too is gone too. Hari Hari. So yeah, whatever we have in this world is going to be gone anyway, so you might as well use it or give it away. Somehow use it. You can't keep nothing in this world. The only thing you can keep is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That we can keep. Just like yesterday, we had a wonderful Rath Yatra. It was so nice. There was so much spiritual energy. How many of you are here now that were there at the Rath Yatra yesterday? That was a good number, at least almost half, yeah. It was such a powerful program, and all we did was chant Hare Krishna. That's all we did. And Jagannath was there. But when all the devotees come together and glorify the Lord by chanting and dancing, it's the Mahotsava, it's a Maha Mahotsava. It gives great happiness. We see the devotees, we dance, we chant, we distribute a prasadam. That's spiritual. So yeah, this is in the summertime we can do more and more of that too. Okay, so we'll stop here and thank you very much. Sri Panihatti Dham ki jai, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Sri Nityananda Ram ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Premanande.